This book is called The Frog Prince. It's adapted by Cindy McKay. It's the story told from the Brothers Grimm Tales and illustrated by George Ulrich. This is a take turns reading book. It means we both read. So some parts are going to be for you to read, some parts are going to be for me to read. Here's our title page. Take a look at the picture. What do you think this story is going to be about? Listen to the title again. It's The Frog Prince. Do you think the genre will be fiction, fantasy, or nonfiction? Not fake, reality. Well, the girl's shaking hands with the frog. I'm kind of thinking this is going to be fiction, fantasy. Already we're seeing some characters in the story. The first character is the princess. It's my turn to read. Long ago there lived a young princess with golden hair who was so beautiful that the sun would smile whenever it saw her. Often the princess would smile back, but sometimes she would shout, "Stop being so hot!" You see, while this princess was usually very nice, sometimes she was not as friendly as she could be. It's your turn to read with me. One day, the king gave the princess a ball. It was a golden ball. She loved her new ball. She played with it every day. A new character in the story is the king. Look at the setting. The setting changed from inside the palace to the forest. My turn. One warm and sunny afternoon, the princess took her golden ball and wandered into the nearby forest. A place she had promised to never go. Oh, snap. Hopefully you noticed that was a problem in the story already. She began to play, tossing the ball into the air and catching it in her hand. What potentially could be happening in this story to cause a problem, besides the fact that she's somewhere she's not allowed to be? Get a clue from the picture and make a prediction. I see something in the picture right here that makes me wonder, could that end up being a problem? It's called foreshadowing, when the illustrator puts things in the picture to make us kind of guess what might be coming next. Your turn to help me. The ball went up. The ball came down. Up and down, up and down, and then she missed. Oh, snap. Where will the ball end up? Plunk! The ball fell to the ground. Splash! It rolled into a nearby spring. Glug! It sank into the cold, deep water. "Oh no!" cried the princess. Your turn to help me. She looked into the deep water, but she could not see her golden ball. The golden ball was gone. Oh, snap, another problem in the story. Now, on the cover of the book, we saw a different character. How do you think this character is going to act in the story? Let's find out. Ah, there he is. My turn. The princess began to cry. Louder and louder she wailed. Suddenly a raspy voice called out, "Excuse me, princess, is something wrong?" There in the spring, with his big head stretching out of the water and its thin arms reaching over the rim, was a frog. Your turn to help. Now, I know the genre definitely is fantasy or fiction, Because the frog is talking and acting like a person. All right, read it with me. The princess jumped back. She did not like big heads. She did not like thin arms. She did not like frogs. What emotion do you think her face is showing? Did you say surprise? She looks shocked, actually, more than surprised, I would say. All right, it's my turn to read. Can you really bring my golden ball back to me? The princess asked hopefully. I can indeed, replied the friendly frog. Then perhaps you can do a favor, he added. What would you like? Asked the princess in surprise. All right, your turn to help. Look at her face. She looks a little friendlier now. The frog replied, I want to eat with you. I want to sleep on your pillow. I want to be your friend. Do you think she will agree? Oh, that looks familiar. That looks like the title page. Now it's my turn. Now the princess did not want to be friends with the frog, but she did want her ball back, so she promised to do what the frog had asked. However, the princess knew she would never keep her promise. Someone who doesn't keep their promise does not make a good friend. Your turn to help. She thought to herself, a frog eats bugs. A frog sleeps near the water. A frog could never be my friend. Oh, her emotions changed again. Look at her face. How's she feeling now? Of course, she did not say any of this to the frog, and the frog did not know that. While a promise is a promise, this princess sometimes made promises she did not keep. So with a joyful heart, he dove in to find the missing ball at the bottom of the spring. Your turn to help me read. Down, 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 he went to the bottom. Up, 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 he came to the top. And the golden ball came up with him. This must be why she's so happy. Woo! Now she's feeling excited. The frog proudly dropped the ball at the feet of the delighted princess, and she quickly scooped it up and merrily skipped away. She did not even thank the frog, and she certainly did not intend to be his friend. That is not kind. Okay, help me read this page. Wait, said the frog. Please come back. But the princess did not come back. So the sad frog jumped back into the spring. All right, new setting. Our setting changed to inside the palace in the dining room. The next evening, the princess was eating dinner with her father, the king, when they heard a strange sound. Plitch, plotch, plitch, plotch. Something was climbing the palace stairs. Then a raspy voice called out, Princess, it's me. Please open the door. What emotion do you think the king is feeling? Did you say frightened? He looks kind of weird. I think he's interested. Look at his eyes. The princess, this is your turn to read with me. The princess did not want to open the door, but her father wanted to see who was there. So she opened it. All right, let's look at the pictures for picture clues here. It looks like the king is talking to her. And her face looks like she doesn't want to do something. She's hesitant. My turn. Quickly, she slammed the door shut again. The king could see that she was frightened. My child, what is it? Who is at the door? Is it a big, mean monster? The princess shook her head and replied, Your turn, help me. It is not big. It is not mean. It is not a monster. It is just a silly old frog. My turn. The king was puzzled by the appearance of a frog at the castle door. So the princess explained how the frog had retrieved her golden ball from the spring, and how she had made him a promise in exchange for his kindness. And what did you promise? Asked the king. Your turn to help. I promised he could eat with me. I promised he could sleep on my pillow. I promised I would be his friend, but I will not. A promise is worth keeping. It's my turn. The king was shocked. Dear daughter, I have always taught you that a promise is a promise, he told her. If you said you would be his friend, then you must be his friend. So the princess opened the door and allowed the frog to hop in. Your turn to help. The frog asked to eat with the princess. He asked to sleep on her pillow. He asked to be her friend. The princess was filled with dread. How could she let this slimy frog sit beside her? How could she watch him eat with his long sticky tongue? How could she let this goggle-eyed creature sleep on her pillow? How could she ever let a frog be her friend? Is she a very kind person? All right, let's read. She could not do it. She would not do it. This frog would never be her friend. Do you think she will? Let's find out. My turn. The king sternly reminded her, a promise is a promise, and this one you must keep. The princess pouted, but she knew deep in her heart that her father was right. Your turn to help me. So she let the frog eat with her. She let him sleep on her pillow. The frog was nice and polite, but she did not like it at all. Early the next morning, when the dark was graying into daylight, the princess heard the frog jump down from her bed and hop away. She hoped he would never come back again, but he did come back the very next night. Help me read. Again he ate with her. Again he went to sleep on her pillow. Again the frog was nice and polite, and this time the princess did not hate it so much. Early the next morning, when the dark was again graying into daylight, the princess again heard the frog jump down from her bed and hop away. She wondered if he would come back again, and he did come back the very next night. Read with me. Again he ate with her. Again he went to sleep on her pillow. Again he was nice and polite. And this time, she kind of liked it. Look at her face. This character is going through a change in the story. At the beginning of the story, how was she feeling? Did you say that she hated frogs? Did you say that she didn't want to be his friend? But how is she changing now? She kind of likes it. My turn to read. Early the next morning, the dark was once more graying into daylight. As the princess waited to hear the frog jump down from her bed and hop away, as she waited, she found herself hoping that he would come again the next night. Read with me. The frog jumped down from her bed, but this time he did not hop away. I wonder why it changed. This time was different. This time was magic. The moment his webbed feet touched the floor, the frog was transformed into a handsome young prince. Read with me. Now the princess was glad she had let him eat with her. She was glad she had let him sleep on her pillow. She was glad the frog was nice and polite. Problem solved. Most of all, the princess was glad that she had kept her promise to be his friend. Then the princess and the frog prince made one more promise to each other. They promised to live happily ever after. Read with me. And they did. After all, a promise is a promise. That's a great lesson to learn. This story teaches a moral. It teaches us a lesson that when you make a promise, you need to keep the promise.